good to see everyone coming on. Make sure that you set yourself up, grab a drink, as I always say. We're going to be here for about an hour. So I've got to keep an eye on the time because I went over the last couple of times. That's it. So I'll keep I've got my little timer down there. I'll make sure that's going. Nice. It's a Sunday night. What else are we going to do? Hopefully most people have eaten already. I made a bit of a barbecue. We had leftover meat from yesterday, so I cooked up whatever was left after the kids' soccer, and it ended up being a really good meal. Scoop Earthworks, Northern Machine, Alexander Toy. Oh, what have I done? Flowline Concreting, Air 78, Tucker GSP, Phillips Plan. Oh, we've got a fair few mini excavations, guys. There's a fair few on there. I love it. On TikTok, we've got John T, Ash Ratray, Sam, Zali, who we got? Oh, heaps here. Tracy, Mal. I can't even go through this heap. So I like to mention your names just so you know that I do see that you guys come on here and all your comments. I try and answer all the questions that come up. Sometimes if I don't, I'll write them down and try and get to them later. But I apologize if I don't mention your name or if I don't answer a question. Just hard to get through all of them. But guys, I want to thank you all for joining. All right, I think we've got enough here to get going. What time is it? It's already past 6, isn't it? Yeah, okay. All right, I'll make a bit of a start. Guys, welcome to another live episode from Earthworks Hub. So I'm your host, Ivan Orlovic. My day business is Eagle One Industries, excavation. Night business, Earthworks Hub. So Spartan Machinery as well. Thanks for joining. So to everyone that has joined us, if you haven't joined us before, basically this is my live sessions that I do on a Sunday afternoon. So I answer like questions. I'll go through some topics. I'll talk about what I did during the week, some of my posts during the week, explain a few things, and then what I do is open up the questions for you guys. So what I can do is start with my week. But before I start with my week, I will have to thank my sponsors. So one of them is on here right now, Spartan Machinery. So thank you to Spartan for being a sponsor. They offer the Zoomline machines. So hopefully you guys have been and seen my videos and little reviews on the Zoomline machine. I did one on one of their 7.5 ton machines. Make sure you go and see that. And I also went and visited one of their sites and went through some of their machineries and what they offer. So M. Attard, thanks for joining as well, man. So yeah, I went to their one of their, I think it was their Clayton branch, and some other things to come now. So thanks very much to Spartan, to JR Safety Co. So if you need a risk assessment done, these guys will come out and will do a risk assessment on your machine for you on site. So JR Safety Co. for risk assessments, and they will come to you with all the equipment that you need. So if you've got a fire extinguisher that's out of date, they'll have a test and tag facility on their utes to actually test that fire extinguisher and get it up to date. They can do all sorts of little small auto electric stuff, put on flashing lights for you, new stickers and everything. So your one-stop shop, and they supply all that as well. So JR Safety Co. Melbourne Tractors, if you're looking for a Cabelco or an ASV Positrack, they do little dumpers now, the Merlot telehandlers. So thank you very much to Melbourne Tractors. The Bole Group. So the Bole Group are predominantly a concreting company, but they do everything including maintenance and other works. So these are the guys that I've got also working on my project Spalding. Wonderful bunch of guys, move very quickly and get the job done. So Bole Group. Nexgen Landscapes and Earthworks. So if you need any landscaping done, Nexgen does residential and commercial landscaping, so they can help you in both aspects. And they also do things like, tactiles, bollards, tree planting. Apart from just gardening and stuff, they do other stuff as well. So anything like that, Nexgen. And network finance. So if you're looking for any finance for machinery or trucks, make sure you hit Network Finance up. I use these guys personally as well. Robbie Moore is the man. If you need any like advice, or if you want to know whether you can borrow enough money to get something, make sure you speak to him before you make any steps. So if you're not sure as well, I've got some videos on how to obtain finance where Robbie explains the process, so before you even go and start looking what you need to have ready, and paperwork wise and funds and stuff. So make sure you watch some of those videos. So it's definitely worthwhile listening to, and I think they're on my podcast and on YouTube as well. So make sure you have a look. So thanks to all my sponsors. Thanks to everybody else that's joined and for constantly joining and for liking my videos and subscribing. If you like what I'm doing and you want me to continue doing things, make sure you go and subscribe and follow on all my socials. So I'm on YouTube as Earthworks Hub. What have I got? Facebook. I've got a Facebook group now called Earthworks Hub. You can go on to Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, Apple. So across all the socials. So make sure you go and subscribe and follow and like, just to show your support. And on top of all that, if you do want to show extra support, you can buy Earthworks Hub merch. So all our merch is available on my website. So if you go to earthworkshub.com.au, click on shop, it'll take you to the store, and you can buy t-shirts, you can buy hoodies, you can buy t-shirts with sponsors on the back if you want. There's different styles of Earthworks Hub. So yeah, make sure you go in and check that out. Okay, so actually, speaking of this session, I've got something that I want everyone to help me with. So hopefully we can figure it out today. If not, keep sending me messages. But I want to make a name for this session. So at the moment, I'm just calling it my Sunday live sessions. But I would really, really like to give this a name so that when I'm posting it up, it's under a certain banner, and I can post them all up in the one playlist. So at the moment, I've got two names that I'm thinking of. So I've put it down as the Sunday Toolbox, or just Toolbox Talk. I've also got it as the Sunday Site Shed Sesh, or the Site Shed Sesh. Maybe it's too much of a tongue twister, but I want to hear Sunday Sips. I like that. Trucker GSP deer hunting. I like that. Sunday. I'll write it down so I don't forget. Sunday Sips. I like that one. So just throughout the course of this session, if you guys do think of a name that we can call this particular show on Sundays, let me know. It'll be interesting to see. And the name that I choose, or whoever has the best name, I'll actually, I suppose I'll tell everyone who it was. So it's almost like a bit of a prize. I don't know. But no, thank you. If you can think of something, let me know. Sunday Sips so far. Oh, I like that one. I like that. That's from Trucker GSP Deer Hunting. All right, guys, I will continue. So my week, how's my week been? So I'm still working at my Project Spalding. So Project Spalding is still going ahead, and that is where I am building my warehouse. So all the panels have been finished now. So all the panels are made. They were doing tilt-up panels. They're all made on site, and they're all ready to go. So basically, the last panel was poured Friday. So that just has to be stripped, and we need a few days for that all to dry. So I think next week, so not this week, the week after, we're planning on getting a crane in to lift those panels. So I really, really can't wait to see all those panels up. I feel like once the panel's up and the roof's on, it's like another, like a milestone to show that we've got like almost like a lock-up stage, and I've got a bit of a complete building. So I'm really looking forward to that. So keep an eye out on my Project Spalding. So in regards to that project, I also have been posting up a few things. I had one post that I put up showing one of the concreters spraying bond breaker on the floor, because somebody asked me a question, how do they keep the panels from sticking together as they make them? Because they stack the panels, they make one, put one on top, and keep making them. So someone was asking, what do they do to prevent them from sticking? So I made a video on that, and I'll tell you what, it went viral on TikTok. It went over 25 or 26,000 views already. So it's very interesting to see that people like that episode or that post so much. But yeah, that's what we use. We use a bond breaker, so it's sprayed on the panel before the next panel is formed up on top of it, so that way it doesn't stick. So don't ask me what the ingredients is, but that's basically what it is, just a bond breaker, just like a seal, like just to seal the panel before the next panel is built on top of it. So that was one of the posts I did in regards to that, I should say. What else did we have? So the temporary power, I've been informed that that's on the way. So I've got temporary power coming in within 15 days, it says. So that's booked in to get done. And the water tapping was done, which I think I mentioned last week. So yeah, Project Spalding coming along very fine. Also, I'm still working in the basement, so you've probably seen a few of my posts in regards to that. So we had the shotcrete completed on one half of the basement, or one side. So there was some discussions about why we've got exposed capping beam and why we've done certain things, but they wanted a flush finish. So now hopefully you've seen in the last post I did, the walls are flush, the shotcrete is flush from top to bottom. So you've got one flush finish. You can't see the capping beam and then a separate concrete panel underneath. It's all one. So that's what the customer wanted. That's what the engineer called for. So that's why we had the exposed capping beam and we had the mesh on the outside of the bars. So yeah, something different. I suppose every job's got different aspects, but that was that basement project. So now we're starting to dig out, and I've finished mostly, maybe, I don't know, maybe 80% of the other side to get it ready for shotcrete. So hopefully the steel guys will come there this week, put the rest of the mesh on, and I've got a couple of little things to do to tidy up. And then we're also starting to dig the water tank. So at the bottom of each basement, you have a water tank which will catch any water that's drained down into the basement, and then it'll pump it back out into the drains. So that is this week, and then some more trucks, obviously, to try and get rid of the remainder of the material, and then start digging the ramp out. All right, and then on top of that, we've got some stuff to do in the pool area. So I've got to go in, scratch around, and get rid of any excess dirt where the pool's going to get built, and that's going to be a shotcreted and formed up pool. So should be very interesting stuff coming up. I'll keep you all posted and show you a post on that during the week. What else? So this week you would have seen I actually released another podcast episode with a guest. So I had a young Jack Healy from Echuca Moama Bobcat and Excavator Hire, a legend of a guy. He actually contacted me. We spoke through social media, so I think it was through Instagram mainly. And then we said we'd both be at, if we were both at Diesel Dirt and Turf, we'd have a bit of a chat and stuff. And we did. We met up there. And then we said, let's do a podcast. So he agreed to it. So we did a podcast this week. I've already posted it. Hopefully some of you have seen that podcast. If you haven't, go and have a look. So he's a young entrepreneur. He's got his owner operating his own excavation and bobcat business. And it's good. He actually is very self-aware, and we speak a bit about not falling into that trap of trying to get too big and have all these employees and that, and just staying in your lane, because a lot of us do fall into that trap of thinking, we can get more work, we can put more people and start making more money, and then you work out very quickly that it's not as easy as it sounds. So we had a good chat about that, some of the hidden costs and some of the time-consuming things in our as an owner operator that we don't know about until you actually start. So a lot of unpaid hours, and I'm not going to say too much. Go and watch the episode. I think it'll be good value for anyone that's an owner operator or thinking about starting out, and anyone that is currently an owner operator. You can obviously get some points out of that. So wonderful conversation. So that was with Jack Healy from EMBE Hire. We also talked about some of the floods that Echuca encountered and how that was tackled. We spoke about COVID, what they did in the regional areas with COVID. So some good listening there. Go to Spotify or YouTube and you'll see that episode. And I've also been releasing these live sessions. So a couple of those came out. What else? So I went down to the Command Dig Day. So Command they do machine control, or they offer machine control and install it for your machinery. They use the Uni Control system, and they had an open or a sort of demo day here in Melbourne on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday this week. So luckily I made it down there to one of those days, had a bit of a go on there. So yeah, if you're interested in how the Uni Control system works, make sure that you go onto my posts, or if you go onto my YouTube video, and you'll see me having a go on their system, and actually having a go on the little Cabalco SK17, so a little 1.7 tonner with the Uni Control system on it. So overall, very, very good system, very easy to pick up and use. And I think the video will give you a good insight into that. So Uni Control system by Command, go and watch that video. So if you're interested in machine control, definitely go see it. What else? What else? The Bond Breaker one. What else? Actually, it's funny because I do live sessions during the day as well. So I don't know if everyone's aware of that. But during the daytime, if I'm working, sometimes I'll switch the live session on, and mainly on TikTok. But I'll switch the camera on or the phone on, and record like as I'm going. So while I'm digging, while I'm doing trenches or cleaning up or whatever I'm doing, loading trucks, I'll have it running and answer questions, and people can see, what happens during the workday. And it gets a lot of hits. Actually, probably gets more hits than I do on these live sessions. I don't know if it's a timing or what it is, but I get a lot of hits during the daytime. But it's funny because people are asking me often, well, they often ask, how do I get into operating? How do I get experience if no one gives me a chance? Which is a question we get all the time. So if you are going to ask that question today, I'll hit you up in advance. Go see some of my podcasts, and you'll see you'll hear the answers to those questions in there. To save me saying it all again. But I actually, after I said that, I actually received a phone call from a younger person that was looking to get some experience, and they said they found me on Earthworks Hub on the website. Probably didn't realize Eagle One is me, but they found Eagle One listed on there, and they said they've been calling all those companies that are on Earthworks Hub and looking and asking if anyone wants to give them a go, because they've just got all their tickets and want to start out. So good on you to that gentleman that called me. That is the way to go ahead. A lot of people say, they'll be on here saying, "Oh, I can't get work. I've tried. I don't know how to approach it. I don't know who to talk to." But this guy's actually being proactive, and is ringing and going ahead and asking people directly if they're willing to take him on and give him a bit of a go. And that's really good to see that someone is taking that advice. So not long after I said it during the live, I had the phone ring. So good on you to that gentleman. Like I said, I want to get a name for these live sessions. So during the course of this, make sure that you send me some names that you think would be good. So what have we got on channel? We've got 140 Frankie, JK Dirtworks, Ronaldo's Concreting, Earth Force Excavations, Stephen Cardona, hey, Bean Digging, Kenny P. Cam, Marky. We've got heaps of people here. Stephen, Andrew, Rudd, Braden. Guys, thank you all for joining us. So thank you for being on this live session. So what else has happened? So also during the week, we've had a few new listings. So for everyone that is not aware, my earthworkshub.com.au website is also a business directory. So if you have a business, you need to get your business listed on the directory so that people can find you. Because I think if you ask yourself, how do people know about my business? You'd probably be surprised. Apart from word of mouth and maybe going through some agencies and that, how else do people know about your business? So one way that you can do it is to go and advertise your business on the Earthworks Hub. So that's what better way to do it than a place where everyone in Australia that's in the earthworks field is listening to these podcasts, knows of the website, and goes there and looks for people that they need. So if you need a trade as well, on the other note, if you do need a trade in the earthworks field, go to Earthworks Hub, find one of the trades on there and give them a call or email them, make contact, and then you never know, you'll get someone out of it that you haven't thought about before. All you're going to do, type in, or click on the state that you're in, and then click on the category that you're looking for. So whether it's an excavator, a bobcat, concreter, a formwork company, a surveyor, a draftsman, whatever, anything to do with an engineer, tree person, anything to do with earthworks, you'll find someone on there. So go in earthworkshub.com.au, look for a trade that you need on there and use each other. Let's all help each other out. That's why I've invented it, so we can all find each other easily. And because often I'll be doing jobs and I'll be saying to someone, oh, do you know anyone that's got a tip truck? We need a tip truck for this job. When I can easily click on there and go, Victoria, tipper truck, semi-tipper, quad dog in the search category, click and it'll give me a list of all the guys that have got one. So a good, easy way to advertise, different versions, different packages available. Make sure you check it out. So that's earthworkshub.com.au. So new listings that we've had. So I usually like to call them out. So bit of a extra bonus for the guys that have listed. We have R&B Earth Moving, and they are from Parks in New South Wales. We have Kensington Excavations, so they're in Victoria. So in Melbourne, Victoria, various size excavators, and can do all sorts of civil and basement work and whatever else, what other excavations you need. So ACI Contech, so they do GPS stuff and give me one sec, I'll click on it to tell you. Oh yeah, they sell obviously GPS equipment and other little bits of attachments. True Excavations. Yeah, so True Excavations. And Mills Excavation. So I think Mills I already read out last week, but yeah, a few extra ones there this week. Good to see. Thank you to everyone that's listing on there, and thank you to everyone that's using the services that are on there. So make sure if you're not on there, go on and check it out. Sometimes people are telling me that when they first log in or sign up, it asks, it sends them a password, and then for some reason it sort of freezes a bit. What I recommend is just do reset password, and it'll send you a new one. And then once you've reset it, you can go in and log in, and it'll work a bit better. So if you do get stuck on there, try just resetting password. Who else have we got now? Acre Landscaping, Mark O'Donnell. We got Correct Excavations, Fetu Aroka. Bro, how are you, bro? Braden. We got Sally. So we've got a fair few people on here. All right. So now what else have we got? Let's have a bit of a sip here, guys. Okay. So I wanted to, so this is a topic I was going to bring up for today, and that is about our rates. So make sure that your rates are sort of in line with what everyone else is charging, so that you're not too cheap or too expensive, but also be proud of what you're worth. So don't actually feel like you need to reduce rates as soon as it gets a little bit quiet, or don't feel like you're pressured to reduce it if the customer comes and then pushes a little bit like, oh no, you're too expensive, because you know what you're worth. You know how good you are. And if people have been paying you that in the past, and obviously they're happy to keep paying it, that means that you're worth it. So make sure that you keep your rate. The minute you start dropping it, that means they're going to feel like they've got one over you, and they're going to expect you to do more and reduce the rate for your hours, and for your hourly rate. Then they're going to say reduce your hammer rate, reduce this, and it just snowballs. So don't be a pushover. Be fair as well, I suppose. Like if someone's offering you heaps and heaps of work, and they're giving you work every single day, and they say to you, look, since we're offering you so much work, can you just sort of help us out a bit or something? Maybe in that circumstance, you might be inclined to say, you know what, I can drop it a little bit if you're going to give me more consistent work. Or if they say to you, we can do it, get your other machining on site, and we get combo work, then we might be able to say, reduce your rate a little bit to get the other machine on board. But don't get easily swayed into just dropping it for no reason. You know what I mean? So especially when it starts getting a little bit quiet, we can easily think that we've got to drop our rates. And you'll see a lot of plant hires and that apparently are doing that at the moment. They're dropping rates. So Martin, how you going? So yeah, a lot of people are dropping their rates. Hang on, let me get this guy off. Where is he? Yeah, so let's get rid of this guy. Sorry guys, we had some guy on there being silly. All right, yeah, Martin, how you going, man? Good to see you. Thanks for joining. So yeah, no, we like I was saying, do not be tempted to just drop your rate straight away as soon as it gets a little bit quiet, and also don't always feel like you can't put your rates up because you know what I mean, everything else is going up. Hydraulic oil's going up, diesel going up, maintenance is going up, mechanics are putting their prices up. You know what I mean? Insurances are going up. All sorts of things are happening. So everything else is rising. Why can't we put our rates up? So make sure that you're paying yourself enough. So go back. I'm going to do an actual podcast, which I said last week I'm going to do. I'm going to do a podcast on high-end financials. So I'll do a bit of a breakdown on what you actually make when you've got equipment. So look out for that. I'm working on it at the moment. So I've just got a couple of things to tidy up on it, and I'll be setting out a new video on that. But basically, what it will be is, you know, just say you've got like a 5-ton excavator, what you make on it during the week, what your expenses are, and what you're left with. So a realistic view. So that's what I will be doing, and that's what I recommend to everyone. Do not be swayed to drop your rates very quickly. And also, if some of the plant hires are dropping their rates, whether it's for your tip truck or your excavator or your grader or whatever, ask them why. Why are you dropping them? Why should we? So Earth Force Excavations is saying he's looking forward to that video. Yeah, so I am going to do that one in the next week or so. So keep an eye out. Like I said, I'm waiting for a couple of more details. But you know what? You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised at how much you're actually making. And something that came up in the podcast with Jack Healy this week, he mentioned in there about downtime during servicing. So, you know, even if a company offers you, you know, free servicing or discounted servicing on your machines, a lot of times it's hard when you're getting that done during the week because, you know, if that's on a Wednesday and you've got to have your machine down for 5-6 hours or 4 hours for a service or something, or a breakdown, that's time that you're not going to get back, and you've lost money on that. You've lost money or time. You've lost money on that project. So you've lost money on, like, if you're doing hourly rate, you've lost, you know, 4 or 5 hours of work, plus you've lost the time. So now you're behind. Plus that means if you've had other jobs booked in the next few days, they're going to have to be pushed forward. And then the other thing is, you're also forking out for that service. So you're not making anything but forking out for it. So that's why he was saying a lot of times we get stuck doing servicing and maintenance on weekends and afternoons and in evenings. So it's another thing that owner operators do struggle with. So there you go. Now, before I babble on too much, is there anything people want me to discuss or any questions that you have? I know last week's hot topic was which 5-tonner is the best out of all the different brands. We've already covered that one. I spoke about how to get work in the quiet times, and people were giving options. What do you guys want to hear? Is there anything in particular? I'm happy to let you guys take it from here. Could be a very short live session. It's very quiet. Yeah, is there anything else that you guys would like to ask about, or any of the jobs I've been posting, you know, recently, like the basement job or the project Spalding? Is there anything else? If you got any questions, here we go. Ricardo Digger, we've got a question. Thanks for your question. Do you prefer rubber track or steel tracks with rubber pads? You know what? For the smaller machines, so anything up to maybe like an 8-tonner or maybe even a 10, I think the rubber tracks are better. In one way, the rubber pads are good because if you rip one or two, you can just replace those pads. Whereas if you rip a rubber track, you got to replace the whole track. You got no second chance. Um, I think I think at the moment I do prefer rubber track because it's a little bit softer, so you can still track over things without breaking them. Whereas the rubber pads, if you track over grass and slew around and that, you do actually pull it up because the blocks are so separate. You know what I mean? So I do prefer rubber tracks. Um, that's in my opinion. Earthforce Excavations is asking, are plant hire companies worth joining up with? That is a good question, and I hope other people have got opinions here. But plant hire companies are worth joining, especially I found them useful at the start. So when I first started, um, obviously until you find your own customers, and you got to get customers from, you got to get some work straight away. So basically, registering with a plant hire. The good thing is, that they're going to find some work for you. They're going to do the chasing of the invoice at the end of the time, end of the job. You know that they're going to help you. So they're obviously going to help determine what rate you get, and then you can work off all those things. And they'll tell you, what rate you're going to get for attachments and stuff, and that will help you determine what you need to charge when you start going out on your own. So I think they're good. And look, plant hire companies often have tip sites, or they'll have connections with tip sites, so that, if you in future start doing your own jobs like I was doing, then I was using those plant hires that were originally giving me work for, for organising soil removal and earth moving. So I was using their trucks and their tip sites afterwards for my jobs. So I think plant hire companies are worth joining. The hard thing is that, if you start with one, it's a bit hard to move around because they want you to stay with them. And then as soon as you say no to a couple of days' work, it's like, I don't know, they'll sort of get a bit upset and move you down the list a little bit. So they sort of prefer you to be working with them all the time. So, no, I think, but plant hire companies, yeah, they're good, especially when, if you're someone that just wants to go to work with your machine, not worry about chasing up customers for the final payments, not worrying about, arguing for how many hours are the minimum, because all that stuff the agency will already have discussed with that customer. And I think you don't have to worry about those conversations, you know what I mean? And if there are issues, you just call the plant hire company and say, listen, this customer's telling me, they only want to give me 2 hours or this or that. So then the agency can deal with it. So I think that's good. And they give you different options, send you to different places. And I think, especially when you're first starting out with them, you can't be too fussy. So don't try and wait for the cream jobs only. Sometimes you just got to take jobs that they give you and just go there. So even if it's a bit further away or something you're not that happy to go to, just sometimes you got to suck it up and do it, because then the next time they'll send you on all their jobs and say, well, you know what, use Ivan because he's always like helped us out and done all the jobs that we want. And then you start working up the ranks. So to answer your question there, Earthforce Excavations, I think plant hire companies are worth joining up with. But then once you can start building your own customer base, you can always charge a little bit more, and then you can have your own customers and work things out. But you can always use those companies. So even now, I'll call plant hire companies and use and hire machines through them, and I'll also do I'll organise trucks through them and that, so they can help me out. Waikato Digger is saying, what's better, a tilt head or a tilt bucket? I think he means tilt, like a tilt, like a tilting hitch or a tilt bucket. So no, I think if it was my opinion, I think a tilting hitch is better than a tilt bucket, because in my opinion, you can put on any attachment and tilt it. So sometimes I have the tilting hitch, and I don't know if you're meant to do it or not, but I'll have my hammer on there and put it on a slight angle if I have to try and chip something away. I know it's probably not the best idea, but sometimes, if you want to get into this little tight corner, I tilt the hitch a little bit with the hammer on it and hammer that little bit away. Whereas if it was straight, I'd be in strife. Then if I want to dig with like when I'm digging up, when I'm detailing basement walls, sometimes I'll put my little GP bucket on and tilt it sideways and trim sideways. Or, you know what I mean? If I want to have the ripper on and try and get concrete from a certain angle, I'll tilt the hitch. Whereas if I had just a tilting bucket, it's just the mud bucket that you can use tilted and nothing else. So I know people might say that they don't prefer it because of hammering and stuff. You know, that having a tilt hitch means that you're not supposed to hammer, you're not supposed to do all these things. But I mean, I've had a tilting hitch on my 5.5 tonner since 2019 and hammered with it and done all sorts of stuff and ripped concrete out on different angles, and it seems to be fine as long as you know the limitations. As long as you know the limitations of it, I think I think a tilting hitch is a lot better. Yeah, so I think a tilting hitch is definitely a lot better than a tilt bucket. So hopefully that. And then I've got Kiwi in Cairns is saying hitch all the way. So I think we have agreement there. So what about all the guys on Insta? No one's mentioned anything. What do you guys, tilting hitch? What do you reckon? Tilting hitch or tilting bucket? I tell you what, this whiskey's going down well. Quantum Comms, hello. Thank you for all your likes and follows and support, guys. So Earth Force Excavations is saying a tilting hitch as well. So there you go. We've got 2 people already saying tilting hitch over the tilt bucket. So I think we have a winner. So no, good question there, Waikato Digger. Very, very good question. And we've also got Riley Darling. He's saying a tilting hitch is way better as well. So looks like it's a unanimous decision there, guys. So what about Waikato Digger? So you've asked the question. What do you think, man? Do you think the hitch or the bucket? You know what? The other thing is with the tilting hitch, you don't have to keep getting out and connecting the hoses. So if you've got a tilt bucket, you've constantly got to get out and put the hoses on. So that's another pain. I suppose you know what? If you're in a huge machine like something above 20 ton, and you might do a lot of hammer work, maybe then you say, all right, you know what? I'm not gonna like if you're doing a lot of sewer and drainage, and you're very likely to be hammering a lot. In that case, you might say, all right, I'll have a tilt bucket that I need to put on just when I'm detailing. But for all the rest of the jobs, you need to have just a normal hitch because you know if you're hammering a lot, you don't want to put that much pressure on it. So that is the consensus. So tilting hitch over tilt bucket. But I do suppose it means it depends on the machines and what you're doing. All right. Any other questions? What have we got, guys? I'm here for another 15 minutes. Yep, 15 more minutes. I'll be here and then I'll have to go. So yeah, go ahead with your questions. So Waikato Digger is saying he has a tilt head on both machines. Both are ram tilt, and he would like to go to the heli tilt head. When you say ram tilt, yeah, so they're the ones with the rams on the side, so that when you turn, the rams are always there. When you rotate, and you don't rotate, I think it doesn't rotate the full 90 degrees. It only goes, you know, like part way, which is why I went for the heli tilt style, which means you can tilt it like basically 90 degrees, which is, in my opinion, easier and better. And also the rams, when you're digging with a smaller bucket, the rams are likely to scrape the sides of the trench. So if your rams are wider than 300 mil, and you put a 300 mil bucket on and start digging a trench, once you get, you know, deeper than the bucket height, you're highly likely to start hitting those rams on the sides of the trench, depending on what size machine you've got. But yeah, I think the ram ones, I almost went for the ram style on my 14 tonner, and then I ended up just going for the heli style. So one day I might get the full rotator hitch, but just price wise, I can't justify getting one at this stage. I reckon, you know, like the Encon or the Steel Wrist, I reckon they'd be awesome to have, but I just can't justify that cost. Dylan Wolf, thanks for joining, man. We've got a fair bunch of people on here, which is really good to see. So once again, thank you all for joining. Make sure your drinks are topped up. We've got another Another 14 minutes to go. Dylan, we're just talking about some different topics, so I've opened it up to everyone else now. We've had a few questions, rubber tracks versus rubber pads. What else do we have? Tilting hitch versus tilting bucket. I think a plant hire versus, not versus, but do we think plant hire work is worth doing? So just a good conversation going on here on different topics. I'm opening up to more questions though, so feel free to keep asking, guys, and thank you for your likes. I can see everyone, some more likes coming through there, so thanks very much. So, and I'm still looking for a name for this session. So, freely give us a name. What have we got so far? Sunday Sips. Somebody said we can call this the Sunday Sip session. I was saying like a toolbox talk or a weekend toolbox talk or a Sunday site shed. Or even we can call it, I don't know, some sort of session. I don't know. But I'm open to options. Church. We usually call church dirt bike riding on Sundays, yeah. I like it though. I like the Kiwi and cans. So we got church. What else? That's a good one actually. So I open to different things there. The Sunday sesh. Yeah, Earth Force Excavations is saying the Sunday sesh. So that's what I was thinking, something like that, like Sunday sesh, Sunday toolbox talk, something like that. I'm open to it. So whoever gives the best one will select that. So I've got to write down Sunday sesh now. I'll write down church. I've got to be careful with that one, Kiwi and can. Some people, I don't know, might be a bit funny if I say that. But I reckon it's a good one. I'm bloody humming down this drink. If you guys can see in the background, I got a couple of goodies there. So Command gave me a rugby ball the other day when I went to go see their the Command, the uni control system. Also gave me a beanie, which where is that beanie? I don't know what I did with that. Anyway, I had a beanie from them. Elite gave me a Sheridan football during the Diesel Dirt and Turf. Got a whole range of what do you call it? I forgot what they're called now. The stubby holders. Gee, that's pretty good. I got a blank there. Got a couple of stubby holders up there. Norm Engineering. Got a beanie from them. Got a whole bunch of hats there. So Gemini 66. Hello. I think Gemini 66 was on my live sessions during the day. So thanks for joining. Thanks for the likes. So I've opened up to everyone else for questions. So please feel free, ask away. Like I said, we can spend the last 10 minutes answering questions. I've probably talked enough from my side of the fence. So what have we got? I've spoken about the merch. I've spoken about the website. So just a little reminder here. Oh, here we go. This is a good topic. Somebody has said, I like this topic. So we have here, Tucker GSP Deer Hunting has asked, okay, got a topic, how many boots on or off in the cab? So what's your opinion, guys? Do you have your boots off in the cab or boots on? I personally can't see myself taking my boots off. So Tristan 777 saying not him, not me. So I think it's very hard. If you're in a bigger machine and you hardly get out, you can say, all right, you can take the shoes off or the boots off. But if you're in a smaller machine, like a 5-tonner and below, even maybe an 8, you're sort of constantly in and out of the machine, or I find myself in and out of the machine more often. So I can't really take the boots off. And for me to take them off and on, be a pain in the bum. So I just leave them on. But my cabin does get dirty as a result, especially when it's raining and stuff and I bring all mud in. It gets really, really bad. So I'm of the belief that boots on if you're in a smaller machine. If you're in a big machine and you hardly get out, boots off. Tucker GSP saying he's in and out of the machine all the time, so boots on. Yeah, so I'm the same as you. So I can't really see myself taking them off and on, off and on. It'd be a pain. Kiwi in cans says boots on. Earth Force excavations, socks only when trimming or bulking. Yeah, yeah, true. Like if you're loading trucks all day and you know you're hardly going to get out, then you can take your shoes off or your boots. But to be taking them off and then have to constantly put them on and off, on and off. I saw a guy the other day that actually took his off outside the machine and then made his labourer bring them to him or take them away when he wasn't using them. And then yeah, as he was operating, when he finished, his labourer would have to bring the boots back to the cabin. Crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff. So Tristan 777 saying when he's in the 5 tonner, he doesn't wear boots, but he still keeps the cab clean because he's an open door operator. Yeah, same. Oh, he keeps them on. Sorry, yeah. And I have an open door thing. Sometimes I think, and that's probably a similar discussion. Do you have your cabin open or closed? Um, on larger machines, I usually have it closed because I'm not really like having too many laborers around. On smaller machines, I need to hear, especially if they're spotting me, I need to hear their instructions. If I'm working for a plumber and they're trying to yell at me and I've got all my windows closed, I can't hear what he's saying. And I might break something or hit something you told me not to or dig too deep. So I prefer to have my front window open when I'm dealing with something like, especially in tight little spots and dealing around pipes and assets. You know what I mean? So yeah, if someone's giving me direction, I like to have it open, so that way I can hear them properly. And Kiwi in Cairns is saying cab closed unless close to people or giving direction. Exactly right, man. I agree with that. I agree. So just before, sorry guys, somebody else asked a question. I don't want to miss that. Oh, Kiwi in Cairns said, who's going to electric once they kick off? I don't know. I don't know. I've got a lot of questions about electric machines. I have a lot of questions. I think my biggest question is if you've got a machine sitting on site and it's electric, how do you charge that? How do you recharge the batteries? And if you're going to be charging that battery with a generator, then what's the whole point of it when your generator is going to be burning diesel or fuel anyway? So unless it's going to burn a lot less, which I don't know yet. I'm not that informed yet, but I don't know. Yeah, I really wonder whether it's worth it. So I don't know if I'd go electric. Oh, maybe like I wouldn't be the first one, but I'd be, I'd be waiting to see what happens with other people. So, Manic Mechanic, thanks for joining as well. Tristan 777, boom swing excavators. I keep the door open because I operate with the boom swung to the left slightly. Yeah, that's true. That's true. So sometimes I have to keep the door open if I'm operating on the 5 tonner with my arm all swung all the way to the left, so I can get really up close to a wall or something, I keep the door open so I can see better. So yeah, that makes sense too, man. So I'm probably similar, and yeah, that's basically. So it looks like we're all sort of on the same page. Yeah. So I do the same thing. Like you can see through the window, but just not properly. And if your window's got like um, if it's like split into 3 or 4 pieces and that, then you've got the pillars in the way and stuff. So I like to just have it open so I can see. But like I was saying, if I want a bigger machine with a straight boom and that, and if I'm just loading trucks and things, I'll have everything closed. But once I'm working close proximity to something or have someone give me instructions, I try and leave it open. So that's that one. I love these questions. These are really good. Good questions and good discussion. What else? So where have we got? Socks on. Socks only when trimming. Yeah, so we said that. That's good. Thanks for joining, guys, as well, and for your Oh, hang on. Tristan 777 is saying when I'm tracking door open as well. Ah, okay. So I suppose is that so that you can clearly see where you're going, or you can hear if someone yells something out. I don't know. That's what I'd be thinking. Yeah, I think Kiwi in Cairns is asking why would you have it open when you're tracking. I suppose some of the things I can think of is that in case you're about to hit something when you don't notice it, people can yell out and you can hear them. Um, what do you guys do? Here's a question for you. What do you do when you're lifting stuff? So just say you're lifting something with your excavator. I'm talking excavator here. Just say you're lifting something. Do you have the revs down low or do you have them up high while you're moving? Like just say you're picking up a concrete pit for a plumber or you're picking up a pipe to lay a pipe. Do you have the revs up high or do you have them really low? There's a good question for you. Flat out if it's heavy. Okay, so Tristan 777 is saying flat out, so the revs to be high when it's heavy. And my next question will be why? Why do we have it up or down? So why would you have your revs high or low? So Raf is saying up high, so machine doesn't struggle if it's heavy, so that's fair enough. Earth Force is saying mid-range revs. So yeah, somebody told me once, why don't you put the revs down when I'm lifting something so that when I move the arm, I don't like jolt and then make it start swinging and stuff, so that it's a bit more consistent. But I like to have it sort of mid, so I have it sort of mid to high. Yep, Kiwi and Cairns, I agree. So mid to high, so that way I've got enough power to lift without the pump struggling, but also so that I'm not swinging it around, and if I start tracking suddenly, I don't start swinging it around everywhere. So and smacking it into people. Yeah, Raf, I miss you too, mate. Raf saying he hopes I'm well. He misses working with me, mate. We haven't worked together for years, but top guy, man, top guy. Thanks for joining us too, Raf. I hope everything's going well with yourself. It's been a long time, man, long time. So Tucker GSP is saying he's on a Cat Nexgen, so he now has lift assist. Oh, that'd be nice. That'd be nice to have. I think, yeah, having a lift assist would be great. I suppose, does that mean that it sort of puts the revs up and down a little bit just to change as you're working with the weight? If that's the case, that'd be fantastic, man. So these Cat Nexgen machines are meant to be like next level. So I'd love to have a bit of a go on one. So yeah, one day I might try and hit up the Cat team and see if they can actually give me a bit of a go. Tristan saying, do you work in Sydney? Because he does. No, I don't work in Sydney. I'm a Melbourne boy, so work in the west and north of Melbourne. Raf saying he's in Manor Lakes these days. He loves my work. Keep it up. I love it, man. Thank you, man. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the positive feedback. It's good to see that people I've met over all the years are still keeping in touch, man. So that's really, really good, and it's good to see that we're all connecting and helping each other. Like all these comments, all these. I love these discussions because they're topics that come up often, and it's good that we can talk about it. So Kiwi in Cairns is saying, haha, more tech stuff. Yeah, that's what happens with these new machines. I suppose it's like more stuff to go wrong. So the more advanced these machines get, the more tech you have on them, the more stuff to go wrong and cost you money. But it's meant to help us with our work. So as long as it helps, you know what? I suppose we have to do it. We have to move with the times. And yeah, I really appreciate all the people that are following, and make sure that, yeah, if you are following me on one thing, that you're following me on other things as well. So I've got, just so people know, I'm on YouTube. So Earthworks Hub has a YouTube channel. So please go there, subscribe and follow and like any content on there. So a lot of these posts that I put up during the week on like Instagram and TikTok and Facebook, they're like the shorter versions. So on my YouTube, you'll see the full videos. So some of those socials, like even on Instagram and that, you can't put the link to the YouTube video. So I just say go to YouTube and have a look. So you can't actually just click and link to it. You have to actually go and type in and search up Earthworks Hub. But yeah, please make sure that you go and follow that stuff because it'll help me to keep making more material. Tristan 777, does anyone dig bucket tilt trenches for pads? Because I do. Does anyone dig bucket tilt trenches for pads? Because I do. Let me just try and decipher that one. So you're saying, do we use the tilting bucket for trenches? Do you mean we use tilt buckets for trenches or pads? Well, if you're talking about tilting hitches, I love my tilt hitch for digging trenches out and doing like concrete pads and that, if that's what you're saying, because you can use it to bring material to a corner, then tilt it a little bit to bring it around the corner. And then when you're doing a sand pad, just say on an old slab, concrete slab trench, you can sometimes they want the sand, cut with a bit of a batter, so I cut them using my tilt. So if that's what you're saying, yeah, I do use the tilting hitch with a bucket on it for pads. So why does it keep locking some of the comments? Oh, I don't know what it's doing. So Earth Force Excavations is saying, who prefers tilt on thumb control or foot? That is another. I love these questions, man. Very, very good. What do you guys prefer? Do you prefer having the tilt on your thumb control, on your hand controllers, or on the foot controller? Tristan's saying thumb. I have to agree. Thumb, you've got a little bit more control with your thumb. On the 1.7 tonner, they have foot control for the tilt, and it's very hard to try and get it nice and even. And then as you're digging, it's hard to have your feet on the foot pedal and control the tilt while you're pulling back the bucket at the same time, and having like your foot control. It's just a bit hard, man. Thumb control to me is the best. So Kiwi in Cairns is saying either way, he learnt with his foot, but thumb is good too. I think the cat was foot, wasn't it? I think that was a tilt on the cats with the foot or with a thumb control originally. I think someone with a cat 5 tonner where I worked once, I jumped in and had a bit of a go, and I think it was tilting with the foot, which took a bit to get used to. I don't know. Maybe I'm imagining that, but I definitely thumb control is the best, man. Even on my posi track and that, I like it when the 4-in-1 is with the thumb control. I feel like I got more control of it, so I can just scroll my thumb back and forth and then slowly close the bucket and open it, or slowly tilt when I need to and adjust it so I can tilt. So I find that I can tilt with my thumb as I'm scraping, just say with the mud bucket and leveling off. I can sort of control the tilt and bring the bucket back all sort of in one go. So Ricardo Digger is saying he has thumb on both machines, and for the dipper, thumb to both tilt controls on the right. Okay, so he's got so his thumb control does the tilt and moves the dipper to the left and right. Okay. Wait, so who else have we got? So Tucker GSP. Who else hates jumping on someone else's machine that is in spastic mode? When you say spastic mode, do you mean like in backhoe mode? So you've got the ISO and then you've got the other mode. So I suppose what Tucker's asking is, who hates jumping in a machine and someone's got it in backhoe mode? Yeah, sorry, he means backhoe. Yeah, I cannot for the life of me operate in backhoe mode. My operators used to play a bit of a joke on me. So when we used to service my all the machines, they'd say to me sometimes, "Oh, can you just jump in? We're finished with that one and move that machine." And they'd all be standing there watching, and they already put it into backhoe mode, because on the 5s and that you'd have the little lever to adjust it. And then I'd turn around and they'd be all killing themselves laughing because I'd be trying to figure out what's wrong with the machine. I can't do what I want it to do because it's in backhoe mode, and they used to often prank me with that. So I've been doing that lately to other people. So if you get in your machine and you don't know what's going on, it's because I've put it in backhoe mode. So it's a bit of a joke that we have. But yeah, I can't, for the life of me, I can't operate in backhoe mode. So I'm just full, the new excavator mode. Yeah, a lot of people hate backhoe controls. Okay, so guys, it is exactly an hour since I started. I don't want to go for too long, but we've got a lot of good questions, so I'm happy to stay on for another 5-10 minutes. So if you guys are happy for me to keep going, I will. Really, really good topics here. So yeah, no, I think backhoe mode for me is a no-no. I mean, even recently I jumped out of my posi track, which is all joystick controls, and had to jump in a little Toyota Husky thing, little Husky Bobcat, and had foot and hand controls. I was lost, absolutely lost. Felt like a beginner, and it took me a bit to get used to it, but I was really lost in it. Like, it took me ages to load material onto a truck that would have taken me seconds in my joystick posi track. So I suppose we're all different. Okay, so guys, I think I'm going to finish up here. I really, really appreciate everybody coming on. I appreciate all the comments, all the involvement. The discussion was fantastic. I will be posting this up this week, so you'll be able to go back and see anything that you missed. Make sure that you follow me on all my socials. Thanks for that. Thank you. Cheers to everyone that joined. Got to get every last drop of that whiskey. Yeah, I will catch you all later. Make sure you follow me. YouTube, Instagram, what else is there? Facebook, TikTok, Spotify, Apple Podcast, everything. So whatever you see, go onto those and like and follow and subscribe. Make sure you also put your businesses up on the Earthworks Hub website so that people can use your services. So whether you sell machines, if you're a rental company, if you dry hire machines, anything to do with earthworks, if you're a tree lopper, or if you do any like maintenance work, or if you're a diesel mechanic, whatever, go on Earthworks Hub, put your business on there, and then we can all find you and start using your services. If you've got a tip site, if you're a rock recycler, whatever, anything like that. If you've got a job that you need done and you need a trade or service, also go onto Earthworks Hub, use some of the guys that are on there. Let's help each other. I hope you've enjoyed this session. I really have. I will see you guys on the next one. In the meantime, if you have a name for this session, send it to me, whether it's on message, email. That's info@earthworkshub.com.au, or text me or whatever on one of those other social platforms. Have a good week, guys, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.